You've been told that if you just work hard, save your money, and maybe start a small side hustle one day, you'll be rich. But what if that's the biggest lie of modern life? What if the real reason you're not rich isn't because you're lazy, unlucky, or not smart enough, but because the system trained you to think like a poor person trying to survive, not a strategist building power? Because money doesn't follow effort, it follows strategy. And until you fix this, until you rewire how you think about time, work, and value, you will never escape the invisible prison that keeps most people broke for life. This is Profitics, where money meets strategy. Let's start from the beginning, your beginning. From the moment you were born, your mind was placed in a system designed for obedience, not independence. You went to school, learned to memorize, not to think. You were told to follow instructions, get good grades, find a safe job, and save what's left after taxes. That's not education, that's programming. Programming for a world that no longer exists. This system was created over 100 years ago, during the Industrial Revolution. Back then, governments and factories needed workers who were reliable, predictable, and easy to replace. So schools were built like factories too. Bells, schedules, rows of desks, standardized tests. You were trained to be a cog, not a creator. But even when the world changed, that training didn't. We entered the information age, where freedom was finally possible, where you could build, scale, and earn beyond limits, yet the majority still think like 19th century workers. They still chase security over strategy, comfort over control. Because no one ever told them that being rich isn't about money. It's about leverage over your time, your skills, and your value to the world. By your late teens, the illusion begins. You're told you're free now, free to choose your future. But every choice they offer leads to the same cage. You pick a university and borrow money to pay for it. You get your first credit card and start spending money you don't have. You find your first job and realize 30% of your paycheck vanishes before you even touch it. And when you finally start earning more, you buy more. A car, a phone, a lifestyle that eats every dollar you make. You feel like you're advancing, but really, you've just upgraded your prison cell. Because the system doesn't punish you with poverty, it punishes you with comfort. Comfort keeps you quiet. And the better you live without owning anything, the deeper you sink into financial dependence. It's not just economics, it's psychological engineering. Every ad, every app, every influencer, every exclusive product is designed to feed your dopamine, not your discipline. It keeps you chasing moments of happiness instead of building long-term wealth. And while you spend to look rich, the real rich spend to own the system. You see, the rich don't work harder. They build mechanisms that work for them. That's the great divide the moment wealth begins. The middle class sells time. The rich sell systems. Then one day, you realize something's wrong. You've been working hard for years, but somehow, your savings shrink faster than your progress grows. Inflation eats your paycheck. Taxes eat your income. Debt eats your future. You start asking questions. How is it that I earn more than my parents but can afford less? Why do prices rise faster than wages? Why do billionaires pay less tax than I do? And that's when you hit the wall, the breaking point of the modern worker. The point where you realize the rules you've been playing by were never made for you to win. Because wealth has never been about effort. It's about position. The system rewards ownership, not labor. It rewards those who control assets, not those who produce them. When you work for a salary, your income is capped by hours. When you own, your income is uncapped by leverage. That's the shift the system never wants you to make, because the moment you stop working in the system and start building outside it, you become dangerous. You stop consuming and start creating. You stop obeying and start observing. You stop earning money and start commanding it. But most people never get here because they don't just lack strategy. They lack financial psychology. They think like consumers, not capitalists. Here's the harsh truth. You don't need to be oppressed to stay poor. You just need to be distracted. Every day, millions wake up and willingly hand over their freedom through small, emotional decisions, disguised as lifestyle choices. They subscribe to entertainment instead of education. They buy trends instead of tools. They upgrade phones, not skills. And they call it self-expression. But in capitalism, every expression is monetized by someone. Every scroll, every click, every trend you follow, someone is profiting off your attention. And that's the great irony. You think you're choosing, but you're being chosen as the product. Because in today's world, attention is the new currency. And if you're not earning it, you're being sold by it. This is where most people lose, not in the market, not in business, not in their job, but in their psychology. They think short-term. They chase feelings instead of systems. They believe wealth comes from luck, not leverage. And when they finally realize how far behind they are, it's too late. The system already owns their habits. At this stage, desperation kicks in. You search YouTube for answers. How to make money online. How to invest. How to escape the rat race. And you find thousands of voices, each promising the secret to wealth. But most of them are selling shortcuts, not strategies. Because the modern money industry isn't about helping you win. It's about selling you hope. You'll hear it everywhere. Work harder. Wake up at 5 a.m. Start a side hustle. Invest in crypto. Buy this course. But none of these fix the root problem. Because the problem isn't what you're doing, it's how you're thinking. If your financial psychology is still built on fear, comfort, and consumerism, then every dollar you earn will eventually find its way back to the system that trained you. That's why so many people rise and then fall. Lottery winners go broke. Athletes lose fortunes. Entrepreneurs build fast, then burn out. Because money without strategy is just fuel for your habits. Until you fix the mindset that governs your relationship with money, every external fix will collapse from the inside. There's a moment, quiet but powerful, when you finally see the pattern. You realize that money isn't about effort, or intelligence, or even luck. It's about design. Everything from taxes to inflation to consumer trends is designed to funnel wealth from the unorganized to the organized, from the impulsive to the strategic, from the many to the few. And the only way to win is to stop playing emotionally and start playing structurally. That means stop asking, how can I earn more? Start asking, how can I make my money earn for me? Stop chasing trends. Start building systems. Stop trading time. Start trading value. When you make this shift, the world stops feeling unfair. Because now, you see the hidden architecture behind every transaction. You start realizing the rich don't spend their money, they circulate it. They don't save, they allocate. They don't work for income, they build engines that multiply it. That's the essence of profitics. The art of turning ambition into profit through strategy, not emotion. Let's break it down step by step, how the rich actually think differently. They think in systems, not tasks. The poor ask, what do I need to do today? The rich ask, what system can I build that does this for me forever? That's why employees work in businesses, while owners work on them. They value leverage over labor. The middle class tries to do everything themselves. The rich use people, money, and technology to multiply results. One person's 24 hours can only do so much. But a system with 1,000 hours of leverage runs while you sleep. They chase equity, not income. Most people want a high salary. The rich want ownership. Because income feeds you, Ownership frees you. That's why the same company that pays you $3,000 a month can make $3 million for its shareholders. They protect cash flow, not just savings. Poor people save what's left after spending. Rich people spend what's left after investing. Cash flow, not saving, creates freedom because it gives you time, and time gives you choice. They understand psychological distance. The poor think emotionally, they chase instant gratification. The rich think strategically, they delay pleasure to build structure. Because discipline compounds faster than interest. These shifts are invisible to most people because they require a total rewiring of your identity. You must stop identifying as a worker and start seeing yourself as an architect of wealth, an architect of systems, an architect of freedom. So how do you fix it? How do you break free from the system without losing your sanity or your soul? The answer isn't to quit your job overnight. It's to reprogram your operating system. Here's how. Step 1. Audit your beliefs. Ask yourself, what do I really believe about money? Do I think it's evil, rare, hard to get, or unfairly distributed? Because if you secretly hate or fear money, it will never stay with you. Wealth begins with respect, not obsession. Step 2. Redefine your time. Stop trading your time for money. Start trading your time for systems that make money. Every hour should either build a skill, build a system, or build an asset. If it doesn't, it's maintenance, not growth. Step 3. Build scalable skills. You can't escape the trap if your skill isn't scalable. Writing, design, coding, sales, strategy, communication, video. These compound, because when skills compound, income follows. Step 4. Create multiple engines. One source of income is one point of failure. Start small, a side hustle, a digital product, a service. Then, reinvest your profits into ownership assets that pay you monthly. Because the goal isn't to get rich fast, it's to get rich forever. Step 5. Practice financial minimalism. Cut noise. Cut emotional spending. Every dollar not invested in your future strengthens your cage. Minimalism isn't about owning less. It's about needing less, so your freedom grows faster than your lifestyle. When your needs shrink and your systems grow, that's when wealth becomes inevitable. Here's the truth most people ignore. Wealth isn't built in big leaps. It's built in tiny, consistent advantages. The difference between broke and free isn't a big opportunity. It's 1,000 small choices that compound quietly over years. Choosing to learn instead of scroll. Choosing to invest instead of spend. Choosing to build instead of flex. Choosing to wait instead of quit. Every decision either feeds your freedom or feeds your cage. That's why the rich don't chase intensity, they chase consistency. They know 1 hour a day of focused creation can outperform 10 hours of busy work. They know every dollar invested early compounds, like time travel, multiplying faster than motivation. You don't need to move fast, you need to move correctly. Because in the game of wealth, time rewards direction, not speed. The rules of wealth are shifting again. Technology has leveled the field, but only for those who play strategically. You can build a global business from your bedroom. Invest in markets worldwide. Learn high-income skills for free online. But with opportunity comes noise, and the new danger isn't ignorance. It's distraction. Because every click tries to pull you off your path. Every trend steals your attention. And every second of lost focus is lost leverage. In the modern world, your attention is your primary currency. Guard it like wealth because it is. The ones who will rise in this new age are not the fastest or smartest. They're the ones who can focus deeply, for years, on systems that scale. And that's what separates dreamers from strategists. The dreamer wants a result. The strategist builds a structure. Let's return to the question we began with. Why will most people never be rich? Because they're trapped in a loop chasing money with emotion instead of strategy. They think wealth is something you earn, when in truth, it's something you engineer. They try to work their way out of a system that was built to reward owners, not workers. And until they fix that, until they rebuild their psychology from the ground up, they'll keep mistaking movement for progress. But if you choose to step back, to see the structure, to understand profitics, you can break that loop. Because money follows order. It follows leverage. It follows those who think like architects, not laborers. So remember this: every decision you make either buys your freedom or funds your captivity. You don't need to work harder. You need to think higher. And when you finally fix this, when you align your ambition with strategy, wealth stops being a dream. It becomes a consequence. If this opened your eyes, don't just watch and forget. Share this video with someone who still believes hard work alone will make them rich. Because that's how this message reaches more people. Subscribe, because here we break down how wealth is actually built in the real world. From smart investing and side hustles to business growth and financial psychology, we show you the tactics, mindset, and systems that turn ambition into profit. This is Profitics, where money meets strategy.